Well, como ça va, straight shavers? This is Eric. This is my channel, the Cajun Blade. And what do we have here? Got a SK Collings 7/8 and a surprise mystery stone. The stone is sent to me by Vender for testing. It's a South African natural finishing stone. It's not on the market yet. It's something he wanted me to test and do a pass around. Got a couple guys on the list. It's actually being tested as we speak from somebody else. It's a real hard stone. Reminds me of the Zulu Gray. Maybe just a little more aggressive on the low end. Let me adjust my camera right here. So the name of the stone is the Andy, which is in Dutch or what Afrikaners or what the language they speak in South Africa. But what it means translated is the end, which is it's a nickname, right? He hadn't given it a name yet. It's a finisher, so pretty appropriate. So here you see I'm showing you my 1200 Atoma, and we'll go ahead and generate a decent slurry. I have come off of a 5K. He normally comes off a 6K. I don't have a 6K, so I'm gonna come off a 5K with a slurry. The stone is fairly hard, and if any of you have ever honed on a Zulu and know how hard it is to bring up a slurry, this one is very similar. I would say that the slurry cuts a little better than a Zulu slurry. And speaking of slurry, I get to describe the slurry on this stone. It's very similar to a J-Nat, a hard J-Nat, at the mid to finishing stage of coma. Like a broke down coma slurry would be the best way for me to explain it. The difference being, of course, that the coma keeps breaking down, and this slurry stayed with me a good bit. Observations: it's a real dark stone, but throws a really white slurry. Looks like a Nagura, right? So makes it easy to pick up swarth. This razor here was, as I pointed out earlier, was done on 5K. I did spend a good bit of time on 5K because I didn't know this stone. Well, I spent a good bit of time on 5K anyway. I'm a big believer in your mid-range stone. You know, critical bevel, good bevel set is critical, and then your mid-range is where all your grunt work's happening, right? That's where all the work's happening. That's where your sharpness is happening. So I got the undercut fairly quick here because I didn't know the stone, hadn't honed on it, and I was ready to sacrifice a little over honing and under honing. I did go on slurry even with undercut, maybe longer than I should. And this was the second time I honed on the stone, so I did realize, or did notice, I should say, first off, that the work is slow on the stone, even though it is faster than the Zulu. So a little extra time didn't hurt. As you can see there, I had one little spot that I found that the heel of the razor was falling behind the rest, and I just did a little isolation stroke, and we fixed that. And you'll see me eventually in this video start to dilute the slurry. So I don't know the geology of this stone, right? This is strictly sent to me as a test stone. Didn't ask. I was open-minded. I didn't mind trying. It's not important to me what it is. I'll hone on a brick if you ask me to. So I wanted to go in not knowing. I wanted to go in with an open mind. I wanted to figure out how to hone on it. He explained to me what his base procedure was, and I went from there. And again, not knowing the actual geology of the stone, I didn't want to assume the slurry would break down. So I went ahead and did dilutions in stages to reduce abrasive, to continue to increase my refinement. So I won't continue the video here through this whole slurry honing process, and I'll go ahead and break it here and move forward to the water passes. Here on water, the feeling fairly quickly will start going to a grabby feeling. And I kind of made a decision on the fly here in this video, as you'll see, is to move forward to a penetrate knob. First time I honed the razor, I finished on water, and I didn't feel, I mean, the shape was good, but it wasn't as good as the Zulu, and I wanted to give it every opportunity, being just a little different stone. And now the first time around, it could have been me maybe not went long enough or too long. So, but either way, this honing, I decided to go to, I didn't like how I was feeling, and then move on to a lubricant. All right, I did realize that I talk about using penetrating oil a lot, but I don't know if I've ever showed y'all what brand I use. I use 3-in-1 penetrating oil. Just a quick line, and I rub it in with my hand. I will point out about this: if you hone on oil, make sure that the stone surface is dust free of any contaminant, and make sure your hands are clean, no hair, nothing, because you will feel it immediately under the blade on oil. It has a higher sensitivity level, even though you're getting more lubricity. So here, it's similar to honing on a slate or arc when it comes to disc passes, and that's something that's very interesting about the Zulu and this stone. Right? They're not novaculites. And I've seen some publications where people call them a slate or a siltstone, but they're hard. They're incredibly hard. You can ding them, and they, with the backside of your spine just to listen, and it sounds a lot like an arc, way more like an arc than it does a slate. A slate gives you that dull sound. This one here is a bright pinging, similar to an Arkansas, but it's not an Arkansas. It's not an novaculite. It's not a stone that you would slurry and go backwards like an arc. My closest comparison would be a siltstone, similar to my Martin. As for what the slurry looks like, what the slurry feels like, and the density of stone when you ping on it, so that would be the closest thing I know of. So we're gonna wrap up here on oil, and I'll move forward into the sharpness test. But in a nutshell, this stone has been fun to hone on, and the final shave product was right there with close to the Zulu. It's not as keen as Zulu, but it's close. Good stone, good finisher. I think it'll have success when he puts it on the market. Okay, so here we'll move to the hanging hair test. Try this with my old eyes. It was a silent ping. I'm voicing over right now, so you can't hear it, and I already took the volume off, so just trust me, or don't. Either way, it doesn't matter. But the hanging hair test was good off the stone. I basically wiped the razor off with a paper towel, made about 4 or 5 passes on my hand, and then went for the hanging hair test. It looked good. Then went on leather and did the one you're seeing right now, which is after the stropping. So, in closing, the Indy. I enjoyed the stone. I think it's going to be a success whenever Jericho brings it to the market, and I appreciate him sending it to me for testing. It was a good experience. Y'all go check him out at bundabeard.co.za. He sells shave supplies and honing accessories and razors. So, I appreciate y'all joining me. This is Eric. This is my channel, Cajun Blade, and y'all stay classy, baby.